Good day, everyone. I welcome you to this very short class on human resource accounting, the trust of which is to acquaint us with the very foundation of human resource accounting itself, which is the classification of human resource, cost. So because if you are unable to, put figures to wide arrays of costs that are associated with human capital of a firm or human resource of a firm, then we cannot begin to have a conversation around human resource accounting, not to talk of how we can incorporate same into our financial statements. And that is the whole essence of today's session. So I remain your tutor, Jamil Tijani. And so permit me to share my slides that will provide a bit of background, because the nature of the class will be for us to have a bit of understanding of the different classification of these costs and solve a practice question on human resource accounting. So a practice question on human resource accounting. So here we go. So it's my slides, human resource accounting, classification of human resource accounting cost, classification. So human resource costs can be classified in four broad categories, Yes, four broad categories. It is along those categories that we, tend to assign figures to human resource and perhaps look at the dynamics of, the changes in this figure year on year to know, what we are doing right as a firm. Who is interested in managing his human assets effectively and efficiently. So, and also stay very competitive. So there are about four categories. The first one is the acquisition cost. So acquisition cost is the first one, followed by training and development cost, followed by welfare cost, and the last one, which is the others. And when we say others, those costs that can neither be classified as acquisition, nor training and development, nor welfare costs. So we lump them and put all of them under others category. So we start first with acquisition. So what are acquisition costs? Acquisition costs are those costs that an entity, an organization incurred in making sure that they acquires the right person at the right time for the right job and in the right quantity. That is the trust of acquisition cost. Everything has got to be right. You can see that you have how many rights there? About 3 or 4 rights. 4 rights. So the first right is the right person. You cannot, bring the wrong person and expect that wrong person will do the right job. It's not possible. So the right person for the right job at the right time, and of course in the right quantity. And it includes recruitment costs, selection costs, and essentially placement costs. So recruitment, selection, and placement. So the totality, those costs that you have to incur as an organization in bringing that person, that employee, that human asset on board, so that can help add value and contribute, its quota in making sure that the goals and objective organizations are achieved. So this is human cost, and this is acquisition cost. Then training and development costs. Training and development costs are those costs that will come by way of sacrifices, that will come by way of expenses in making sure that, those persons that you have, acquired are sufficiently trained and provide them with the, require skills to operate at a particular expected level of performance. So there are sacrifices made to train a person to provide the expected level of performance or to enrich their skills. And of course, in this category, include the following: the formal training cost, on-the-job training cost, special training cost, development program, amongst others. Anyone that revolves around helping the employees to hone their skills so that they can, perform better, they can be more productive, they can be more efficient, falls in the category of training and development costs. The third one is welfare costs. Welfare costs are those costs that are incurred to create and maintain an environment conducive enough for the good health and high morale of the employees. The environment, really matters. So that the cost that you incur, making sure that the environment where the employees, are working actually very conducive and can engender good health and improve their morale. That is welfare cost. It's a long list of costs, long list of costs. So, and of course, the last one, others. So other costs, all other costs that cannot be categorized in the first three groups, all other costs that cannot be categorized in the first three groups are put here. At least they are neither acquisition, they are also not training and development, and they are also not welfare. So once we cannot place them, so we dump them here under other cost. So at least with this, I think you have a bit of idea as to the different classifications that we can put human resource accounting. So let's now demonstrate this by solving a question. I'm going to share a question with you. I'm going to share now. So I hope you take a look at that. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question, and I hope you can see that question. So the firm is battling with, so let's assume you have been given this. You have been given this. So this is what you have been given. So you have serial number 1 to 21 for 2 years, 2020 and 2021. And the interest is they want to ask you to classify. I want to ask you to classify, so for that firm, human resource accounting costs. So classify them into those four categories. And of course, look at the dynamics, between 2020, the dynamics of changes between 2020 and 2021. And on the basis of that, you now comment. So I hope you've taken a shot of this question, so because that's what we'll be solving together in just a few minutes. So first one is housing. So is housing. Second one is maternity. Third one is health, interview, formal training course, up until special training. If I were you, I think we can even start solving from here by just annotating. So if I pick housing, so under which category would you find housing? I will tell you that housing will fall under welfare. So housing will fall under welfare. It's not involved in training, and neither does it have to do with acquisition. It's also not, of course, or under order. So it's clear. So we'll put this under, what's it called? Under welfare. So put it welfare, followed by maternity. Maternity is also welfare. So you agree with me that's also welfare. So if you are paid for maternity, this too can also be welfare. Health of workers, evidently welfare, no doubt about that. Interview costs, you agree with me that interview cost has to do with acquisition. So they are trying to bring you on board. Acquisition cost. Yes. So formal training, acquisition. So it's missing somewhere there. Formal training cost. So that's training and development. So training and development. So come here and say, for short, I can call it T&D. Yes, special general allowances. If you're not too clear, just leave it. Let's pick the ones that we are very clear about first, but sometimes the nomenclature of that particular human resource cost may not be too clear. So such that sometimes judgment will be required. I would advise that you leave that one first. Then other welfare costs, of course, the name suggests that it's welfare. So if I were you, I'll just come here and put welfare in front of it. Safety and expenditure. Safety should fall between welfare and others. But we'll soon get to that now. Rewarding suggestions. Rewarding suggestion is not welfare. It's not training and development, and neither is it acquisition. So I can safely call these, others. So it does not have to do with your welfare. So it's just you going above board to do extra for which you are now being rewarded. On the job training, that's very clear. That's T&D, so no debate about that. So medical expenses is welfare. Medical expenses is welfare, no doubt. Ex-gratia, only God knows what that means. Once you're not clear, you leave it. Campus interview course, so interview, that's part of the process of acquiring. So I can come here and call it acquisition. So campus interview course, children welfare, clearly this is welfare. No doubt about that. So this is welfare. Recruitment cost is acquisition. No doubt about that. Acquisition. Selection cost, acquisition. Canteen expenditure, is it welfare? So is it welfare? Is it not welfare? But I think if you go to the canteen often, then It's still part of work and make the environment conducive. So I would just put it as part of our part of welfare. Go to the canteen. They want to be sure that you are well fed. At least once in a day meal in the office sometimes can motivate some employees. Multi-trade incentives are not too clear, but this one is clearly training and development. T&D, training and development. Training and development. Placement cost, clearly acquisition, training and development, clearly acquisition, special training, that is training and development. Training and development. Yes. So the ones that we are not clear about, it is safe for us to just regard them as orders. For instance, if you ask me, this safety, I'll just tell you is orders. So although some can argue and say it falls under welfare, because if you don't have safety measures in place, so safety measures in place and the environment may not be made conducive and conducive enough. So, however, so you would find out that uh, it can also fall under others. Yes, safety of workers is important, especially if you make reference to your recommended material in this regard. So it's safe to put it under others. Special and general allowances is too opening board, so it's not too clear. And since it's not too clear, we can't place it under acquisition, we can't place it under welfare, we can't place it under training and development. So it's just safe for us to put it under others. Ex gratia, clearly others. So the more trade incentive, clearly others. So we have done the allocation now, just for us to now put them in figure. So I'm going to raise my Microsoft Excel file now, Excel workbook, and do the computation there, and then make certain commentaries on what we have there. Make certain commentaries on what we have there. I like to always underline my heading, so we do it that way. So I pull this down while I share Microsoft Excel workbook. So come here. So come here. This is what we have now. So this is what we have. This is what we have. I love Tahoma. So let's begin to roll. So it's interesting. We can put all of this. We have for 2 years, 2021. So then 2020. So we appreciate it that way. Put all of this in different categories. So the first one has to do with acquisition. Acquisition cost. Acquisition cost. After acquisition cost, what then are we going to have? We have training and development. Training and development. Training and development. Training and development cost. So between those 2 years, and of course, can group them this way for the other two so that we can maintain the same screen. Come here, place others here too. Then we have welfare cost, and the last one we'll be having orders. Last one will be having orders. Last one will be having orders. Last one is orders. So last one is orders. So these are the 2 years. So first, let me begin to do my summation in advance so that once I just bring in those figures, I can easily just add them. So I hope you're following what I'm doing. It makes my life very easy. So of course, so all of this will be in accounting terms. Double figures, yes. There you are. There you have. So I also come here, just copy, paste this here too. Yeah, copy and paste this here too. Beautiful. Then I can do similar thing here. How many color rows we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10. So maybe I could do the same thing here too. Show the 10. Hold on, no. That's too far off. No. It's too far off. I can just come here. Yes. Right. This is too far off. This is too fair. Training and development. Yes. For 2 years. Then others. So if we don't do it this way, they make our competition a bit challenging. Yes. So all of this will be total. This will be total. Yes. Total. Total. Beautiful. Yeah. So let's begin to pick those items one after the other. So the first one is housing. So housing clearly falls under welfare. So I place my housing here. And what are the figures? So for 2021, I have this. I have this 2021. Let me widen it. Yes. So 2021 for 2020, I have this. Yes. So the figures are beginning to gel, followed by maternity. Maternity is also welfare. You agree that we say it's also welfare. And how much are we talking about there? 1,880,625. Place it here. So 1946, we place it here. Followed by health of workers. Yes, health of workers is also clearly welfare. Place it accordingly. And so you have this health of workers. Are you following what I'm doing? And these two on 589,217. Yes, brilliant. Then we move on. Interview cost. Interview cost is acquisition, clearly acquisition. So, and how much do we have there? 792. Yes, let me widen this a bit. 960, then 820, 714. 2714. Formal training cost. Formal training cost. So we have 160. Formal training cost. No. I've made a mistake here. So formal training cost should come here. Formal training cost is training and development. Yes, brilliant. Training and development. Training and development. Let me get for the 2 years separate. Yes. So that can be clear as to what we're doing. Yes, good. Formal training cost. 1659375. Yes. So then this one is 1843. Yes, brilliant. Brilliant. So special general, we did say earlier that falls under others. So others, special general allowances. So fall under, so we have 9956250, 9956250, 97. Yes, we are following. Brilliant. Other welfare expenses, welfare falls under welfare. Where's my welfare? My welfare is up here. So 17. So we have this 1840. We also have this. Yes, brilliant. The safety expenditure said it's safe to put it in line with our textbook, recommended text, under others. So under others, it is safe to put it there. It's safe to put it there. Safety. So safety of workers. Safety of workers is clear. Safety of workers. So to put it there, safety. And how much are we talking about here? Safety. Okay, we have 59. Yes, followed by this 618. Yes. Then we are moving fast now. Rewarding suggestions. So we say that falls under others. Rewarding suggestions. 774375. 774375. 805350. 05350. Then on the job training. On the job training is T&D. T&D, yes. Student development, 774375, same figure. 774375, 99888. Brilliant. Then come to medical expenses. Medical clearly falls under welfare. Yes, welfare. 13. Yes, followed by 1426620. Yes, then we have S gratia. S gratia fall under orders. S gratia fall under orders. So 221250, 221250, 228994. Yes, brilliant. So 994, 228994. Brilliant. Campus interview, clearly acquisition. Clearly acquisition. Clearly acquisition. And how much are we talking about here? I think it's over 1 million. Clearly acquisition. Then we have this. We have this. followed by children welfare expenses, children welfare expenses. So that's welfare, children welfare expenses. So that those figures are now, they're now adding up. Figures are adding up. They're adding up clearly. Then you have recruitment cost. Recruitment falls under acquisition. So recruitment falls under acquisition. Recruitment, when you are recruiting, this is where you have the cost. Recruitment falls under acquisition. Then you have selection cost. Selection is still part of acquisition. We have 1734. Still falls there. Canteen expenditure, so welfare, so must eat. So 1725, 750, 1725, 750, and 1786. That's what you have there. Then you have multi-trade incentives. Multi-trade incentives fall under others. So multi-trade incentives fall under others. Multi-trade incentive falls under others. Trade incentives fall under others. Development programs, training and development. Training and development. Training and development. And development, yes, for 2020, we have this. Placement cost, of course, clearly acquisition falls as part of our acquisition. Part of our acquisition falls there. Falls there. Acquisition. Acquisition. Special training. Special training, of course. Development cost, special training. 1438. 1488. Oh, it's 1488. Oops. Not properly copied. 1488, 579. That's the beauty of Excel is this already. Because I've already the total there. So the figures are just smiling at us. We're having a better shape now as to the distribution of the human capital cost of this firm. So let me take it back to my font. So which is what am I doing? Yes, brilliant. So I was at 13. Good. Yes. So for the 2 years, you have it this way. So you can see for acquisition. So we have 7.32 million in 2021. And for 2020, it was 7.15 million. So if you come here, let me reduce number of free rows I have here. Yes, brilliant. Good. I still can delete one more. Yes. So I think it's getting clearer. I'll separate this a bit away from others. So that we can see what's going on. Still have some space here that I can delete. So I can have a bedside view of all the figures. Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Good. So we all can see where we are. Yes. Year 2020. Yes, that's where we are. So look at this firm. In 2020, so this firm appeared to spend more on welfare costs than acquisition. So of course, clearly followed by others, then acquisition, then training and development. Do you know what this means? This firm appears to be, placing less and less premium on improving the capacities of its employees so that they can, perform at the expected level in a way that it will engender, prosperity for the firm. I really cannot imagine that, with welfare. Of course, welfare is good to motivate, but then what about the skills that you expect your employees to have? From what I can see here in 2020 alone, the amount spent on welfare cost is almost 3 times. Yes, almost 3 times, 2.28 times that of training and development, which is not really a good figure. And of course, this is further compounded by a decline a decline in training and development between 2020 and 2021. And the amount fell by, yes, it fell by, let's do the computation so that it can be clear. It fell by, let's increase the decimal. Yes, it fell by about 10%. 10%. That 10% amounts to almost 600,000 naira. Yes, 648,300. So I don't know what is going on in the minds of the HR department of this organization or even the head of HR, such that the amount is spending on training and development fell, from year 2020 to 2021. This is not really good enough. However, for others, those ones rose. However, for welfare too, welfare fell. Welfare fell. So, but acquisition increased. So they're acquiring, so the acquisition cost is going up. The dynamics of this is very, very interesting. They are bringing in new employees. However, they are spending less training the existing ones. Are they assuming that they have all the skills that they need to actually, demonstrate and commit to be able to operate optimally? Are they assuming? Of course, look at welfare also declining, and then others. I'm seeing, a slight increase in others. So, pertinent question can be raised on the emphasis that this HR, the HR department of this firm is placing on is human assets. So ordinarily, I would have expected that even if they are not acquiring more, I would have expected training and development to continue to increase, or a bit marginally. I would also have expected that welfare continues to go up, even if they're not bringing in new employees. Let's assuming, that all positions have been filled. At least year on year, I want to see, an upward trajectory in the curve of, the welfare cost of the firm. However, what can be seen here is a decline between year 2020 and 2021, and a ditto for training and development. However, for strange reasons, other costs, rose. Yes, from 13.53 million to about 13.58 million. So this firm needs to look at the distribution of its costs among all these four components of human resource classification is important if they want to engender motivation, they want to spur growth, and they want to get their employees far more committed in helping to ensure that the objectives and the goals of the firms are achieved. If you want more perspective, what you can also still do is to look at the changes here. Yes, the changes. If you want the changes, you can just come here on a line by line item, this minus this. So you divide this, then you now divide by what you have here. Now, if you put all of this together and you multiply all by 100, we'll have a better understanding. So I'm seeing something that looks like 3.4%, 3.4%. I think, no, it's 3.4% decrease. So let me place my formularization there. No, I think yes, it's a decline. It's a decline. So from here, let me come here so that I can place it properly, divided by the one for previous year, then close the two brackets here. Then before you now multiply by 100, yes, so that we can capture it here 3.38. So broken down this way, you can see it clearly. So even for acquisition that even fell, acquisition that fell, recruitment costs increased within that same group. Recruitment costs as well as selection. Placement declined. That was it. A decline in placement, a decline in interview costs. This is sub group analysis. It will offer an interesting and a more enriching perspective. But overall, so you can see from here that this went up. Yes, this went up. Acquisition went up from 7.1 to 7.3. So, and that's about 2.4%. Yes. So if you come to the other groups, you see something similar there. Other groups, for formal training, that fell. So, but all the items that you have in training and development fell across all the four categories. And of course, generally, that's about 9.73% decline. And so if you also come here, you see something very, very interesting. Housing declined. Yes. So if you drag down, you see interesting perspective here. All of them, other than children welfare expenses declined. Children welfare expenses declined. Of course, this has a lot of implications. And of course, overall, there's a decline of about 6.67%. So if you come to others too, you see something very similar. So others, they all declined except for special and general allowances. But overall, there is an increase of about 0.43%. So interesting stuff. So while acquisition cost rose by about 2.4%, they are bringing in more employees. However, training and development declined by a figure that is far more than the increase that was seen in the acquisition cost, almost times 3 or even times 4, 9.70% decline. And of course, due to for welfare also declined about 6.67, and of course, for others. So we can dig and mine more insight from this, obtain more insight from this analysis, as small as it is, and you can begin to get interesting perspective. And this is very important for policy formulation, and then the general organizational direction and guidance that we provided, making sure that our human resource assets are well put to use. So I think with this short session on human resource classification, your perspective is further enriched. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you.